Hello, I'm live in the Turtle Tots Limited Facebook group, so I'm hoping to be speaking to lots of our lovely customers who are at home, maybe because possibly their classes have been cancelled, maybe in Ireland where all classes are cancelled for the time being, or maybe because you're self-isolating because you or somebody close to you has some symptoms, or maybe you're self-isolating because you feel it's the best thing to do for you and your family, or somebody that you know is in an at-risk group. So we just wanted to make sure during this very unusual time that we can keep in touch with our lovely customers, and keep you interested and engaged with what we're doing at Turtle Tots, and give you some ideas for things that you can do during any periods where you can't swim with your little ones. Just a bit of reassurance, first of all, for many of you, and hopefully some of you watching may, your classes will be still running. The majority of our classes are still functional. Some of our venues are closed, and those, and we're working closely with the venues to keep you informed about what's happening there. But for those of you whose classes are still running, just a bit of reassurance really about how fantastic swimming is, as always, but in particular because of the chlorinated water at this time. In terms of activities that you can do with your little one, swimming is no doubt one of the safest. We're working closely with all our venues to make sure that they're following the most stringent hygiene procedures and protocols. So all surfaces will be disinfected regularly, and the water tests are done absolutely, extremely regularly, continuously monitoring the situation. We are supporting obviously all the wider public safety and public health initiatives. So we're asking you customers to be vigilant about washing your hands when you leave the house, when you arrive at a venue, when you leave a venue. And for many of you, swimming will go on for as long as possible. That's for those of you who are still swimming, but there are going to be a significant number of people watching who maybe for whatever reason aren't swimming at the moment. And I think I just wanted to acknowledge some of the feelings maybe that are around at the moment. Those of you, everyone swimming with us will know that at Turtle Tots we're really big on acknowledging feelings. Normally we're talking about the feelings of our little ones about the water, but also very importantly about adults and parents' feelings about being in the water with their little one. Because we all know from the science and the research into babies' brains and adults, and the development of bonding and relationships, that emotional attuned responses to people's emotions are really, really important, particularly for our babies as they grow and their brains develop. But at the moment, I guess I want to talk about the feelings that adults and you parents are experiencing in these really unprecedented times. And let's face it, we're all feeling some fear, some anxiety, confusion maybe, about conflicting reports that you may have read. Social media is a wonderful thing at times, but it can, I know myself that I've delved in a lot over the weekend and read a lot of different things, and it can feel confusing, and maybe there's some uncertainty about what the right thing to do is. So we are at Turtle Tots as a company, we're following the latest government advice. We're monitoring everything completely all the time, and we will continue to follow the advice from Public Health England and the government and the NHS. But just kind of knowing that we're all feeling this, and at the moment there is this huge sense of not knowing what the next few days, weeks, or even months are going to bring. So the one thing I just wanted to touch on feelings was just this idea of acknowledging our feelings and allowing them to be there, because we don't want them. Nobody wants this situation, and it's not pleasant, but it is the situation that we're in. So we need to acknowledge that, accept it, and because when we resist it, this goes with our children as well as ourselves, but when we resist what feelings are there, it can tend to make things worse. Our babies and children, my children are older now, so they have more of a an understanding of what's actually going on and are asking me questions. But even our little ones, even the tiniest of babies, will be picking up on their parents' non-verbal signals for anxiety and stress. That's just something that we know. So the more that we can do to acknowledge and calm ourselves during this time of uncertainty, whether you're swimming or not swimming, is going to be beneficial for your babies and your little ones. So I've got my notes here. I don't do a lot of Facebook Live, so this is new territory for me. Actually, on that note, I don't think I properly introduced myself. So I'm Jo, and I have been with Turtle Tots since the beginning, and I've been a teacher and I've been a franchisee, and I'm now, along with a wonderful team of tutors and mentors, I head up the training for all of our wonderful Turtle Tots teachers, and I can see from my comments down here that there's quite a few of you watching, so hello everybody. Right, so what I wanted to talk about today, we are going to do these live streams every day. It won't be me every day. This week it's going to be me and my wonderful colleague Ange Fletcher, who's going to be doing a Facebook Live tomorrow. We're going to be talking about different things each day, but today I wanted to start with a real going back to basics idea, which is just about the benefits of getting in the bath with your baby or your toddler or your older or your preschooler. So some people will just do this anyway. Depending on your family culture, maybe you had baths with your parents as a child. Maybe I remember that. I remember having a bath with my mum and my dad. And some of you won't have done that. And some of you may not have, some of you may occasionally do it, some of you may have never done it. So we're going to just sort of explore what the benefits are really of getting into the bath with your child, especially at the moment, but actually anytime. So we know all about the benefits of skin to skin contact with newborns in particular. It's something that's very much in the all the stuff that you read when you're pregnant about how important skin to skin contact is after your baby's born. It does amazing things, and there's so much research to support this. You know, babies who are placed skin to skin on their mother's chest or belly straight after they're born, their temperature stabilizes, their heart rate stabilizes, their blood sugar levels stabilize, they're calmed. The mother and the baby both release hormones that help them to bond, and for the mother that promotes healing. For the baby, it can help them to calm themselves and cry less. It's a really amazing thing that we know about, that we know that newborn babies need. But I think sometimes what we don't talk about is the fact that we continue to need this throughout our entire lives. So children, older children, teenagers, adults, everybody benefits from skin to skin contact throughout their entire lives. And it has the similar benefits as it does for newborns in terms of blood pressure is reduced, immune function is boosted, our heart rates synchronize when adults and children are in close skin to skin contact. Our stress hormones decrease, particularly important at this time when we are stressed. You know, as a nation, as a global population, we are stressed at the moment. As you may know, the stress hormone cortisol actually lowers immune function. So that's particularly important at the moment when we all need our immunity to be at its best. So the more we can do to relieve stress in ourselves and our little ones, the better we are going to be. Touch, amazingly, we can show this from brain imaging, but our physiological and psychological functions of the body actually synchronize when we are in close skin to skin contact with another person. So our heart rates, as I've mentioned, but also our brain waves can actually, they show similar patterns. So it's really, as humans, we are hardwired to benefit from skin to skin touch throughout our entire lives. Now, again, at the moment, never mind that all the stressful stuff that's going on, but self-isolating with a baby or a toddler, that is hard. And, you know, I've been speaking to I've spoke to one of our teachers this morning who's been self-isolating for 6 days because her little one had some symptoms. You know, it's tough. Anything that can help to make this a little easier for you at the moment is a wonderful thing to do. So, in terms of bath time then, I guess I've thought of a couple of things. We're going to talk about over the coming days and weeks. We're going to talk about different ideas that you can do. We maybe bring in some things from our lessons. There's all sorts of possibilities. So actually, if you've got something that you'd like to see us do as a company, then please let us know. We can have teachers on here doing sing-alongs that you can maybe play while you're in your while your baby or your toddler's having a bath. But for the moment, let's just think about bath time. Bath time tends to be a routine that we all do at a certain time each day. But at the moment, when everything is up in the air, think about just extending it. I mean, my husband works late and doesn't get home until about 8 o'clock. And there's that difficult time in the evening, maybe sort of after tea time or between, 5 and 7. We just used to get in the bath and stay in there for a couple of hours. And actually, sometimes when things are a bit tough between you and your child, maybe because you've been stuck in the house all day, the idea of getting in the bath together can be a wonderfully bonding, soothing experience for both of you. Make it special. Crank the heating up, make it really nice and warm in your bathroom so that you can stay in for a good long time. Maybe think about playing some music, something that you and your little one would like to listen to, or some calming music, particularly if you're feeling stressed or anxious at the moment, or some fun sing-along songs for your toddler. Vary the toys, go and search through your kitchen. There are some lovely things to play with in the bath in the kitchen, and there's something about the water that makes us all playful. Maybe if we've got more time enforced at home at the moment, it can allow you to have that more focused time with your little one where you can just play for a few hours and see how much they get out of that. If you've got 2 children, the chances are, I know with my 2 older ones, they always bath together, which they loved, but maybe just vary it up a little bit. If you've got 2 children who always bath together, why not take it in turns and bath, have separate baths with mum or dad or mum or the other parent, and see how they respond to that. So that's really all I was going to talk about today. It might seem really obvious, but I would love to hear, or we would love to hear from those of you who maybe, if you regularly bath with your little one, or if you haven't done before, but you're going to give it a go. And we're going to be back on tomorrow. When I say we, Ange is going to be back on tomorrow talking about some other ideas that you can do. And we're going to be maybe a bit more specific about certain things that you can try. But for today, I'm just going to say keep calm and have a bath. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined today and listened. I would love to hear your comments, particularly if you've got some ideas for other live videos that we can do. So for now, everyone, goodbye and enjoy your bath time.